Hi, I'm Bianca Medina, and this is my project, The Tank Farm. The goal of this project was to create a system that used physical components and software components to mimic a real-life tank farm. Here we have a physical HMI, physical buttons, the software simulation screen, a PLC that controls the whole system, VFDs whose outputs control the simulated pumps, the contactors that act as valves, and a point I/O for the inputs and outputs on the store. Next up are the CAD drawings. In the CAD drawings we have the safety circuit, how the power is distributed to the main components, the PLC's inputs and outputs, the point I/O inputs and outputs, how power is fed to the panel, the 480 for the VFDs, switch layout including ports and IP addresses. Now onto the HMI screen. This is the home screen, the first screen that you will be greeted with. I log in as the janitor who has the lowest level of access to show that only certain things will pop up depending on what level of access you are. Now I will log in to the supervisor who has the highest level of access to show all of these screens and buttons. On the home screen we have the soft buttons as well as the navigation. First I will go to the stations, which includes the unloading station, buffer to storage station, and loading stations. These all follow the same up, the tanks with the levels, the pipes, pumps, the more setting buttons, the valves, and the flow meters. Now I will go to the trends. This is real-time trends that shows the ones at the moment. The historical trends that store the data and you can go back and forward, as well as to the now. Alarms, this is the alarm history, where you can also clear the alarms in the PLC, clear the fire condition, as well as acknowledging the alarms. The alarms page includes a navigation for quick troubleshooting. The layout just purely shows the layout, which also features functions to show if that light should be on and if that push button is being pressed for easy troubleshooting. The VFD maintenance shows the frequency if the VFD is ready, as well as if that VFD is faulted. Now for a demonstration. This is the system in auto mode. The green lights will turn on, indicating that there is a truck in the unloading station. The tank begins to fill as the truck is unloading. Since all three stations are being used, the valve is open more. Once some of the trucks are all the way unloaded and leave, the stream becomes smaller. Once there are no trucks waiting to be unloaded or the buffer tank reaches its high set point, it will begin to empty. Here now it will begin to empty into the first storage tank available that is not full. Since this is simulated for how fast the buffer tank is emptying, the storage tank will only fill half as fast to simulate that the storage tanks are bigger. Here are the VFDs. They will turn on 2 seconds after the valves are open. As you can see, those first three are on, as all three loading stations are being used. Here we can see that the storage tank is being emptied as we received an order. Here is what the panel looks like. We can see the pumps turning off and then turning back on as there was another truck waiting without having to close the valve. We can see the valve closing after the pump turns off, and we can see that it is now filling from buffer to storage, because the second row determines that. The first two is the tank 1, the next two are tank 2, and the next two are tank 3, so it is filling into tank 3 right now. And in this clip we can see that it is loading a truck as those last two lights are on. The pump just shut off, and now the valve will close. For manual mode, I decided to show it on the HMI to show how easily things are able to be seen on the HMI. First, the system must be turned off and then turned into manual mode. I submit orders and simulate truck arrivals. Since there is a truck, I press the unloading button and the unloading station starts. The valve opens and the pump 2 seconds later turns on. We can see the tank filling with the tank level going up and the flow meter value. The pump will now turn off first because the truck is unloaded, and then the valve will shut. Now I will discharge the tank. The valves open, the pump turns on, and we can see that flow meter value again, as well as the tank 0 dropping level and the tank 1 going up in level. Here we can see the pump is going to turn off and the valves are then going to close 2 seconds later. Now I will press the load button, which will start the loading system. I was too slow, so all of the things are on, but again, the pump would have turned on 2 seconds later after the valve. The pump turns off and the valve shuts. To demonstrate alarms, I will simulate a fire. Here comes the alarm. Now I will simulate a leak. The pumps are running as normal. I press the simulate spill button. It must reach the threshold for leaking for a certain amount of time. And now it tells us where the leak is at. I'll demonstrate the valves not opening by pressing the e-stop button, so the output from those valves are no longer going back to the system. The pumps turn off, the valves close, and a warning light comes on. For this project, I also made an Excel worksheet that took values from the tags and put them into this worksheet using DDE. The hope was for this to work as an order sheet that had all the previous orders on it. However, I could not get the macro to work that copied and pasted those values every time the order button was clicked. However, you can see that after I submit this order, the values have changed. Thanks for watching my video, and special thanks to Josh, my instructor, Dale, my instructor, and Mitchell Tech College. See what I did there?